Hey friends, welcome to this class on authentic Chinese dim sums with gourmet Asian relishes to go with the dim sums. Now dim sums और momos में क्या फ़र्क होता है? Momos is street food and dim sums is fine dining. Momos मैदे से बनते हैं और dim sums wheat starch and potato starch से बनते हैं. So that is why the texture of dim sums is a little chewy. Wheat starch और potato starch का जो proportion है वो बिल्कुल सही होना चाहिए to get the right texture. ना ज़्यादा chewy और ना ज़्यादा soft like मैदे के जैसे होते हैं. सबसे ज़रूरी होता है इसका जो starches हैं उनको हमने एक डो बनाना है और डो के लिए हमें चाहिए होता है गरम पानी नहीं, उबलता हुआ पानी. तो सबसे पहले हम 1 कप पानी डाल के उबाल लेते हैं. नाउ तो वाटर नीड्स टू कम टू अ रोलिंग बॉयल. खूब अच्छा खौलना चाहिए पानी. तो ये मैंने पैन गरम रखा हुआ था, पानी डाल दिया है और झटपट ये उबल जाएगा. बिल्कुल उबलता हुआ पानी चाहिए. तो अब इसमें हमने डालनी है सबसे पहले व्हीट स्टार्च. ये मैं ले रही हूँ 3/4 कप 75 ग्राम्स. और पोटैटो स्टार्च थोड़ी सी कम है, वो है 50 ग्राम्स और वो है आधा कप. इसमें हम मिलाएंगे 1 टेबलस्पून ऑयल. कोई भी कुकिंग ऑयल ले सकते हैं आप और इसे अच्छी तरह से मिला लीजिए. दोनों स्टार्चेस अच्छे से मिक्स हो जानी चाहिए. और अब इसके अंदर पानी ये उबल रहा है, बिल्कुल अच्छी तरह से. ये देखिए खौल रहा है पानी. बिल्कुल रोलिंग बॉयल का पानी मैं इसके अंदर डालूंगी. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा करके नहीं, सारा एक साथ डाल दीजिए. जल्दी से वुडन स्पून हाथ में तैयार रखिए और इसे जल्दी से मिला लीजिए. थोड़ा सा लंपी सा आपका मिक्सचर बन जाएगा तेज़ी से. और इसे अब हम नाउ व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज इट्स अ लंपी डो एंड यू हैव टू मैश द डो साइड्स में थोड़ा ले जाकर, द वे शेफ इज़ डूइंग. इसको ही इज़ अरविंद एंड ही इज़ अ वेरी गुड शेफ फॉर डिम सम्स. ही मेक्स डिम सम्स फॉर अस. एंड ये इसको अच्छी तरह से ही इज़ मैशिंग दी स्टार्च अगेंस्ट द वॉल्स ऑफ द बोल so that if there are any lumps they break. Now once you get this mixture, see it's a nice soft mixture, not very hard, not very soft. And इसको हम फिर अच्छी तरह से गूंद लेंगे. और गूंदने के लिए थोड़ा सा तेल का हाथ लेंगे. अब ये तो हमारे हो गए वाइट डिम सम्स. No salt has gone into it. Remember, both the starches have been mixed. Now let me just show you the starches. This is potato starch. In the PDF I have given you the picture of these starches and you can buy them from cookflix.in, nitamehta.com or from Amazon. So this is the potato starch and this is the wheat starch. ये जो starches हम use करते हैं, it gives it a very nice chewy texture. Now see how is kneading it. So you have to push it forward, get it back, push it forward, get it back like this. और हाथ में अच्छी तरह से तेल लगाकर इसे गूंदना है. अब ये कैसा डो है, इट्स अ नाइस रबरी, जैसे रबर की तरह देखिए स्ट्रेच कर रहा है. अब इसको गरम गरम को ही आपने ढक देना है और पंखे के नीचे बिल्कुल काम नहीं करना है. तो इसको हमने रैप करके और एक इन्वर्टेड बोल के नीचे और अच्छी तरह से ढक कर रखना है. नाउ ये तो हो गए हमारे वाइट डिम सम्स. नाउ हाउ टू मेक ग्रीन डिम सम्स. ग्रीन डिम सम्स के लिए मैं 1.5 कप पानी ले रही हूँ. लोग तो रंग मिला देते हैं पर हमें रंग नहीं मिलाना है. और ये देखो डिम्सम का डो हमने क्या किया है, नाइस एंड सॉफ्ट एंड प्लायबल, रैप क्लिंग रैप से लपेटा, प्लेट में बोल से ढक के रखा। पंखा बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा जब आप काम कर रहे होगे। तो ये तो हमारा वाइट डो बन गया। अब ग्रीन डो के लिए हमें क्या करना है? ग्रीन डो के लिए हम कलर ना यूज करके पालक की पेस्ट यूज करेंगे। नाउ पालक की पेस्ट के लिए हमने क्या किया, पालक की पेस्ट के लिए हमने पालक को पहले ब्लांच कर लिया, और ब्लांच करके जैसे उबलते पानी में हमने 2-3 मुट्ठियाँ ऐसे पालक की पत्तियाँ डाली, ब्लांच करा, पत्तियाँ ब्लांच। वैसे हम अभी ब्लांचिंग करेंगे आगे पालक की फिलिंग के लिए, तो आप और देख लेंगे। उसके बाद उसको रिफ़्रेश करके और हमने उसे फिर पीस लिया, ठंडे पानी से निकाल के थोड़ा सा निचोड़ के पीस लिया। ये हमारे पास पिसा हुआ पालक है, जो हम वी आर पुटिंग इट इन अ मसलिन क्लॉथ, because we don't want any solid particle of the spinach to go into the water. So we are adding only the spinach paste, and I'm tying the spinach paste in a muslin cloth, and I'm going to put it in this water. So here goes the spinach paste, which has been blanched and pureed in 1.5 cups of water. Now if you remember, in the last one we took 1 cup of water. I've taken a little extra because this needs to boil. You want the color, so it needs to boil for a while to bring out the green color. You'll soon see that it gives a very nice green color to the water. Now in the meanwhile, we'll mix our starches again, so it's a recap for you. So here we have half a cup of potato starch, and 3/4 cup of wheat starch. Mix the starches together with a wooden spoon before you add the oil. It's a better idea to mix the starches first and then add the oil. So here I have a little oil going in, a teaspoon of oil. I mixed that, and my water is, I could have boiled it a little longer, but I can see a lovely green color has already come. You can boil it a little longer. Now what do you do with this? You kind of remove this muslin cloth. We don't need this. I'll switch this off. And we don't know how much the water is. We need only 1 cup of water. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to measure 1 cup of water. See, you can see it's a nice green water. And I'm going to throw off the excess. I can't add this water because this is not a rolling boil. It has to be boiling. So I've measured 1 cup of green water, and I'm going to bring it to a boil again, because I have to use water which is rolling boil. खूब खौलता हुआ पानी चाहिए मुझे। तो ये पानी अब इसमें हम डालेंगे, which will give a lovely green color to the dim sums. Now I can see the water boiling, but it has just started boiling. I'll let it come to a rolling boil. Yes, now I can see it really boiling. And now I add it all together quickly. Have a wooden spoon in hand and stir it. Okay. In the same way, you can make pink dim sums also. Now pink dim sums कैसे बनते हैं? You can use beetroot water. Now for spinach, we blanched it and pureed it. For beetroot, you don't need to do that. See, I've done this beetroot water, but I won't be making the dough, but I just want to show you how I've made the water. I have these beetroot chunks. So what I did was, I boiled the beetroot separately, then cut it into chunks and put it in 1.5 cups of water and boiled the water for about 3 to 4 minutes till I got a lovely pink color like this. So that is how you make the beetroot water also. So now our doughs are ready. Now we are ready for blanching. Just see the chef, he's oiling his hands, greasing his hands, pulling the dough forward, getting it back, stretch, pull. You know, that's how you need to do it. But you don't need to do it for very long like a bread dough. It just takes about 2 to 3 minutes and it all comes together nicely like a firm, you know, a pliable, not very firm, not very soft, but a pliable dough. And you can do it on a kitchen platform, or see, when I put my finger in it, I can make a dent in it. It's not that hard. It's a nice pliable dough and it has a lovely light green color. Had I boiled the spinach for a little longer, the color would be even better. Now we need to wrap the dough with cling wrap. So again, where will this dough go? It has to be kept very nicely under a bowl like this so that koi hawa na lage and it stays nice even though it's cling wrap. Now you should make the dough in the morning and make the filling in the evening. It should be used quickly. So the idea is that once the dough is made, you are not supposed to be keeping it in the refrigerator. It is a good idea to make the fillings first and then do the dough, because your fillings get cooled and it becomes easy to stuff. But then anyways, you can do it either ways. Okay. Now when we come to the filling, a filling in a dim sum has to be a little soft. Like what I'm trying to say is, if you're using broccoli, you can't use the stem part because the stem will, you know, kind of be a little harder and it will poke the skin of the dim sums and it might tear the dim sum. So I'll just tell you how to just cut the vegetables for everything. Now see, suppose you have a zucchini. So here zucchini, what we do is we just take the sides and this seedy portion is a little hard. You don't have to waste it. You can grate it and use it in your dough for your rotis. You can use it, boil it and use it in your raitas. So you can use it anyways. And then once this is sliced, you have to just cut it finely. And once you've sliced it, it's a good idea. And once you've sliced and chopped it, and if you can't do it very finely, it's a good idea to mince it. If you can't do it, then you can mince it a little. Agar mota cut jata hai aapse. So this is how zucchini is done. For the carrot, the same way you slice it. So he sliced it. Now the carrot is also sliced and chopped like this. Broccoli. Now broccoli, if this is a floret, you don't use this stem at all. You need to discard this stem even more, and only the florets are chopped. ये वाली stock बिल्कुल नहीं use करोगे. Bok choy is like this. This is bok choy. It needs to be washed very nicely, and the lower part is very finely chopped and kept separately, and the leaf is also chopped and kept separately. What I'm trying to say is, everything has to be fine, and if you can't do it very fine, slice it first and then chop finely. Now we need to blanch all the vegetables. I'm just waiting for the water to get hot, and in the meanwhile I'll tell you about the fillings. First is a Boston tofu filling. You can either take tofu or you can take paneer. So here is a little tofu with me. Then I have some broccoli. See, I've kept these stalks separately to show to you. I'm not going to use these. This is broccoli and this is finely chopped carrot. So how do we blanch? Now this is for Boston tofu. So we need to blanch the broccoli and the carrot. First we'll blanch the vegetables. We are doing 5 fillings. So we need 3 fillings in which blanching is done. So we'll do that. Now the next is exotic veggies, crystal exotic veggies. In this I've used beans, finely chopped. Here I've used baby corn, finely chopped. Then I've used zucchini and I've used broccoli. So these are the 4 vegetables that have gone into it. Now if you can't get any of these veggies, you can always use, like instead of beans, if you like mushrooms, you can use mushrooms. Instead of baby corns, you can use regular corns, chop them up. Instead of broccoli, you can use carrot, mushroom, corn, any of these vegetables here instead of these vegetables. So this is for the second thing. And the third is a spinach and corn, which I have this about 3 handfuls of spinach. And it's a good idea to remove the stalks and not to have these thick stalks. Just waiting for the water to boil. So this is, and I have half a cup of corn for this. So we have these 3 and we are almost done with the water. Now how do you blanch? There are many ways to do it, but I'll tell you a simple way. Take a soup strainer, and for the Boston tofu I've added this broccoli finely chopped and some carrots, both together, and I'm going to put it in this hot water like this. And एक बार इसको चम्मच से ज़रा सा just move it around so that they all get dipped in water nicely for about 2 minutes. Okay. So we are kind of done with this. You have to just bring it to a boil. Just press it a little to squeeze out the extra water. And I'll put it back in this. So this is for a Boston tofu. Now the next is all the 4 vegetables. Stalks of the broccoli were there, so we've removed those. Okay. Now we'll dip this. Again, just move it with your, I can see a big piece of beans. There should be any big pieces. All finely chopped. Everything has to be finely chopped and soft. Okay, let this come to a boil. Let me see if it's done. It's a little hard. You need to make it soft. We are going to saute it also. So it's not fully cooking it because we're going to saute it also. It's just bringing it to a boil. Wow. Just takes about 2 minutes. Mushrooms taste delicious. If you like, you can put mushrooms also. When you want to put the mushrooms, let me just chop one and show it to you. You need to remove the stalk. You can use it for anything else. And then just finely chop it. And if it's a little big, you can just mince it. Mushrooms taste very nice, but we have, I've always seen quite a few people who don't like mushrooms. Just remove the stalk. So you can add the mushrooms also to the blanching veggies. I added beans, so if you want, you can add mushrooms also. Anything is fine. This is done. We press this nicely to remove the excess water. Now to this we have to blanch the spinach. When you want to blanch spinach and corn, it's a good idea to add a little sugar and then blanch it. So let me add the corns first. We could have put the corns also in the soup strainer, but never mind. The corns are done. In the same water, we'll put the spinach. The spinach needs to be boiled and then refreshed in fresh water and then chopped finely. In the same way, the corn also needs to be chopped. Okay. We'll just give it a boil. In the meanwhile, आप कॉर्न चॉप कर दो. Just boil the spinach for about 30 seconds to a minute. You know, the boil hasn't come. Once it comes to a boil, then you can boil it for about 30 seconds. See, he's chopping the corns. In the same way, the spinach will need to be refreshed. You can't chop it very hot. Refresh it. It's always greener when you refresh it. So refresh it and chop it. Just, you know, this is the way you mince anything. You want to make anything, just take a big knife and keep on mincing it. And why do you add sugar when you are blanching the greens? To make it greener. So we are done with this also, and I'll remove this spinach. Now what's to be done? Add cold water to this spinach to refresh it, squeeze it nicely and chop it. So I'll just get it refreshed and then chop it in front of you. In the meanwhile, I'll start with the filling of the Boston tofu. Now let's start with the Boston tofu. This is what we had blanched, the broccoli and the carrot. We are going to cook it in butter. So here goes in a tablespoon of butter. We have some garlic and ginger. Now it's a good idea to do the garlic on a little low flame so that it imparts all the flavor. So in the butter, I am adding a little garlic. And once the garlic starts giving out a nice smell, I am going to then add the ginger. This is the spinach he's got. See? This is the spinach. He squeezed it very nicely. There's no water in it. And now we are going to chop it fine. Now the garlic is done. I'm going to add the ginger. Okay. Now I can smell the garlic and ginger. Now I'm going to add the blanched veggies. The spinach needs to be finely chopped. Now the broccoli and the carrots are sauteed and a little bit of seasoning goes in. Some piri piri seasoning. I am using Nita Mehta piri piri seasoning, about half a teaspoon. It gives a nice kick to the dim sum. And a little coriander. And of course a little salt and white pepper. I am using Nita Mehta white pepper. If you like, you can add that too. and a little bit of Nita Mehta black pepper too. We have a range of spices. You can look up cookflix or nitamehta.com for a range of spices and seasonings. So this is done. Let's take this out. Yes. And a little bit of potato starch is always added in the fillings to absorb the excess moisture. So just about half a teaspoon of the potato starch goes in. Just cook it for 30 seconds. Just taste the salt and all. Fillings में चाहे Indian हो या continental, the salt is alright, but it can take a little more, and it can take a little more of peri-peri seasoning also. So now we are done with this. All you have to do is add a little mayo to the filling after it's been taken out. So I'm going to add this, a teaspoon or half a tablespoon of mayonnaise to this. Let it cool down and then we mix it. But I've added it so that we get finished with this recipe. So our one filling is ready to go. The next that we do is an exotic crystal veggie dim sum. So we take a little oil for this. Now in this filling, in the Boston tofu, what is important is after doing this and mixing the mayonnaise, we have to mix the tofu also. You could have cooked the tofu also if you like, or you can add it like this also, your wish. It's good both ways. So just mix the tofu or add the tofu along with the veggies if you like. It gets steamed also. Because in any case you are not cooking the vegetables for too long. Okay. Now for the next is exotic crystal veggies. We have a blanched mixed veggies in which we added mushroom also. So we have, first of all, we have a little garlic going in. And then we have some ginger and green chili going in. And in this, we put our veggies. So this is our tofu wali chili. Now after the vegetables have been sauteed for a while, we are going to add a few things. You know, we can add some fresh basil leaves if you like. They taste nice. Just chop them up. Some chili paste if you like it a little tikha, if you like it a little hot. Red capsicum, not blanched, chopped. And some salt, pepper and some fresh coriander. And a little potato starch towards the end to absorb any excess moisture. Depending on how much moisture your vegetable has, about half to 1 teaspoon. बस this is done. इसको टेस्ट कर लेते हैं, नमक वगैरह इसका. Spicy because we've added green chilies and we've added chili paste. If you don't like it spicy, you can omit. Or you can add the de-seeded green chili. थोड़ा सा नमक लेगा, हल्का सा, बस इसमें निकालो. Now next we'll do the spinach and corn. So our two fillings are ready, the first and the second. Now we go on to the spinach and corn. A little oil goes into the pan first. Garlic, and then wait for 30 seconds before we add the other ingredients. So let the garlic just give out its fragrance, and then we add the ginger and the green chilies. In this, I'm going to flavor it with a little Maggi taste maker or a Maggi soup cube or a stock cube. And in this packet, you get 2 cubes like this. I'm going to use 1/4 of this 1 cube. Not going to use much. But before that, I'm going to, once my garlic and my ginger gets a little crispy, a little done, I'm going to add the spinach. Remember, I had blanched this spinach, refreshed it, and then squeezed it well, and then chopped it. Now, just for 30 seconds, you need to blanch because it's nicely squeezed. There's not much water. I'm going to add the corn, which have also been blanched and chopped. To flavor it, I'm going to add some soup cube, about 1/4 of it. But remember, this has a lot of salt. I'm going to crush it and add. So just be careful on the salt. Don't add salt before you taste it, or just a wee bit, because we can. Now, just a little bit of potato starch goes in. Is this done? इसको चख लेते हैं. Nice. Plate में निकालो. We need to cool it down, so we'll take it out in a plate. Now the other fillings don't need blanching. So these were the fillings that we needed to blanch. So these we don't need blanching for any. Now next we'll do the nutty cream cheese. For the nutty cream cheese, I'm going to add a little oil. And I'm going to use bok choy. I showed you how to cut it. When you break a leaf like this, wash it nicely, chop the lower part finely and the leaves also finely, but keep them separate. And I have some greens of green onion. Okay, so we start with a little garlic as always. And then I'm going to add some celery in this. Now, how do you use celery? I'll just tell you how to use celery, but let me just add it, and while he's stirring it, I'll tell you how to do the celery. So in goes in some ginger, green chili and celery. Okay. If you like, you can add some red chili flakes. I'm using Nita Mehta red chili flakes. And these are the stalks of the bok choy. It's a good idea to add the stalks first. Hold on, stir for a few seconds, and then add the bok choy, leaves, and the spring onions. A little coriander can be added too. Now, once this is done, salt, pepper and potato starch has to go in. Salt, pepper and a little potato starch. Now this is the filling. Once it cools down, I'm going to mix in some cheese spread or cream cheese, whatever you have. So this is a little cream cheese that I'm adding. This is not on the fire. Let me just cool it a little. And some walnuts and almonds finely chopped. It has nice nuts. So now the final filling is left, the last filling. Now you can do a chicken filling or a soya filling. I'll show you both. So we take a little oil. Okay. See, if you are using soya, then you need to put it in hot water and then soak it for about 15 minutes and then squeeze it nicely. Everything should be nicely squeezed. Squeeze it nicely through a muslin cloth, and this is how you get it. If you are using chicken, I just got a chicken breast, chopped it and minced it in the mixer. You can use chicken mince or chicken. Nothing has been done to it, but when you wash it, and you have to squeeze it again through a muslin cloth if you do wash it. If your mince is not washed when you buy it. So this is chicken mince. Now we start with ginger and garlic as always. In goes in garlic. And then I'm going to add some ginger. And in this I'm going to also add some chopped onion. So here's some chopped onion. And let's make it a little golden. Now, if you were to make soya, then it's a good idea कि soya इसमें डाल दो. But let's do chicken because we've done quite a few vegetarians. If you have to add, if you want to make chicken, you don't add the chicken to this. You keep this separately. And to the soya or to this, we are going to add some, anywhere you can add this. Piri piri masala, Nita Mehta piri piri seasoning. A little salt, pepper. And now we add this to a bowl. So now let's put the chicken in this, and whatever we have cooked, this I'm going to add this to the chicken. The sauteed, the chicken is raw, but had it been soya, मैं इसको थोड़ा सा सोया को भी भून देती. Now a little potato starch goes in this also. Now we are done with the potato starch. Now when you want to taste your chicken mixture, कि आपने इसमें नमक, काली मिर्च हमने अभी डाला नहीं है ना, कुछ भी डाला आपने? अच्छा, डालना है और नमक डाल, black pepper. Now when you see, you can taste your vegetable. You can't taste a raw chicken. How do you taste your raw chicken? What you need to do is just put your a small ball in a katori. Take a katori of water like this. छोटी सी कटोरी में थोड़ा पानी, and make a small ball like this, and put it in a katori of water. Some coriander also will go into the chicken. The chef didn't like it without the coriander, so he's put some coriander. So all you have to do is put some water in this and put your small ball of mince and microwave for a minute or 30 seconds. It gets cooked. You can eat it and see whether you need more salt or more seasonings. You can do it according to your choice. So all our fillings have been done. Now we come to the rolling part, which is a little difficult and needs a lot of practice. So let's take the chakla first and start with the chakla. Now this is our dough. let me do a wide dough because it will be better. Open this dough. And I'm going to cut it into half. How nicely it cuts, rubber type. Now this dough should not be left open, the other half. Wrap it nicely back into your cling wrap. Put it under this nicely and make a log of this. Iska log banao. Now just make a log, a nice big log. You can take the whole thing, but the space is little. If you work on the kitchen platform, you can take half of it. And then cut into portions. Yes, if it sticks, just put some wheat starch. See, for the fillings we've used potato starch, and for making these balls we are using wheat starch. If these roll, just roll them a little. If they stick and trouble you, just roll them in a little starch. Now make balls of all of them. Make balls, सबके balls बना लो. फिर बाद में ball बनाना मुश्किल लगता है. So just make balls of all of them, small marble sized balls, using a little dry flour. Now put these, don't leave them like this. These have to go under this, like this. You have to keep them covered. Now flatten this a little, and then you can either use this, but this is not a very good idea. Professionals use this, but if you like, you can use this also. Roll out nicely using a little wheat starch. Roll at the edges to make them thinner. Don't bother if it's not a perfect round. About 3 inches in diameter. Put the filling with a spoon in the center. Don't touch the filling. Lift these sides and press in the center. Now pleat. Stick the edges, and if it doesn't stick, just dip your hands in a little starch. Pleat again. Pleat, stick, pleat, stick, press. Give it a nice shape. So now this is ready. This shape is ready. For the second shape, take a ball, press it, put some wheat starch, roll it nicely, if it sticks, put some more wheat starch. Roll at the edges. You can lift and roll. some filling in the center. Press the filling. Pleat like a sari. You can lift it, rotate it. Press it. Give a little twist. Press the center. And if you like, you can put something on the top. This is spinach and corn, so you can put a corn on top. Put some filling. A little less than half. Press. Less than half. Now bring this here. Press. Then join this. And you get this triangular shape. So our 3 shapes are done. Now let's start steaming the ones that I have made so that they get ready. Put some banana leaves, cabbage leaves in a steamer basket or anything you have for steaming. I'll give you alternate ways also, but let me do it the right way first. The water in the pan should not touch the bottom, so it should be about 1 inch, and just grease your leaves and put your prepared momos in this. Sorry, momos I'm saying, dim sums. So we are going to put it here like this, and we are going to put these which we've already made. And we'll show you also the steaming part. Now the steaming should be done on high heat, not on very low heat, because you want the nice steam to come out. Okay. Now this is done, and see, when they are done, they look beautiful when they are done. You can either lift them up and put them wherever you want to, or you get these beautiful basket stands. You get these basket stands like this, where you have these chopstick holders, and you can just, this is very hot, and you serve your dim sums like this with the cover. This is how it's served, so that they remain hot, and this is how they are served. Now let me make a few relishes for you to see how to serve them with the relish. In this case, you'll have to serve the relish separately, or you can even top them here. But let me make the relish first and then show you how to do it. Now let's do the relishes. In the chicken dim sums, the way we added mayonnaise, you can also add a little cheese spread. It's your option. That's why it just slipped my mind, but you can add it if you like. Okay. Now let's do this spicy black bean jam. Now this is the black bean that I'm going to use, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Let me start with a little nicely oil, about 4 tablespoons. Okay. I start with garlic. And then I have my ginger and a little onion going in. And these are the black beans I have chopped. You know, you get these fermented black beans and you just chop them up. And this is what I've used. So once the onions turn a little golden, I'm going to add the black beans and a little chili paste because I'm calling it a spicy black bean jam. And jam है तो मीठा तो चाहिए, तो थोड़ा सा honey. Just make it nice and golden. अच्छा, ये spicy black bean jam बना रहे हैं. So the onions and डाल दूँ अभी थोड़ा सा और because it has to turn a little golden. Okay. Now let's put the black beans and the spicy chili paste. Now you can switch off the flame. Now see how nice and crisp everything is looking. Even though I had switched off the flame, the pan is always hot. Because if you add honey to very hot, then it just clumps together. So it's a good idea to add the honey a little. Just switch off the flame and add the beans so that by the time the honey is added, it becomes a little lukewarm. And we've added a little salt, pepper to taste. Now let me just check the salt. It can take a little more chili paste. If you like, this is the chili paste I've used. If you like, you can make it homemade. I've given the recipe and I taught you all in the last class also, whoever is a repeat customer here. So this is done. Okay. Okay. Now our one sauce is ready. Now the next one, now we'll do the peanut and relish, the coriander peanut relish. In these relishes, the quantity of oil going in is a little extra. So about 4 tablespoons of oil. And in this, I'm going to add some garlic, ginger and green chili all at one go. Then once the garlic changes color, I'm going to add some peanuts. They are salted and they are roughly crushed. You could just put a rolling pin over them. And I have some green onions chopped and some coriander. So it's a coriander peanut relish which has a little green onions, and of course the ginger garlic is always there and a lot of oil is there, and a little lemon juice to flavor. So in these relishes, it's important that the ginger garlic turn golden. जैसे हम अपना गोभी शलगम का अचार डालते हैं तो उसमें भी प्याज, उसमें भी जो अदरक लहसुन है उसको अच्छा गोल्डन करते हैं. Similarly, the ginger garlic needs to turn a little golden before you add the other ingredients. In goes the peanuts, and then we add the थोड़ा सा नमक, काली मिर्च डाल दो. नमक कम ही डालना because I'm going to add a little soup cube to it. It's your wish if you feel like adding. Now I'm going to add the coriander and the green onions, and now we can switch off the flame. Then it gets crisp on its own. If you feel the oil is less, it can take a little more oil. It should have a little oil because it won't get crisp otherwise. Just a bit of lemon juice left now, and we'll add that. Okay, this is also done. So our coriander peanut relish is also done. And last, we'll be doing a spicy, very nice sweet chili dip. in goes in a little oil. You can be a little generous at this time with the oil. Now in this case, I'm going to add spicy red chili flakes also with the garlic and ginger. So let the oil get a little hot and I'm going to add garlic, ginger and red chili flakes all together. Make it a little crisp, because unless they turn golden, it's not going to turn crisp. So it's important for it to turn golden. The last one is this one, and once this is done, just a little we can add a little lemon juice to the coriander one. Once this gets crisp, a little sweet chili sauce, and this is the sweet chili sauce that I'm using. You can buy all these ingredients from Cookflix. You know, sometimes when you go to the market, you get confused which brand to buy. So, you know, I keep changing brands to see which is the best, and I give you the best brand. Because it really matters what kind of brand of chili sauce, chili paste, soya sauce that you are using. Now in goes the sweet chili sauce, and when you add sweet, just switch off the flame, whether it's honey or the sweet chili sauce, उसमें तार बन जाती है. So उसको ज़्यादा बहुत तेज़ आंच पर नहीं पकाना होता है. Salt, pepper डाल दिया. So this is also done. So now let's show you how to serve the dim sums. See, now you could either serve dim sums in the basket the way I showed you, or what you can do is just take a plate and keep a ring and put some this spicy black bean or any sauce you like. And then place the dim sums around it. Lift this up, you get a neat round, and place your dim sums half on the sauce or the relish. Just put some more. And you have these green onion juliennes. You know, just cut your green onions very finely, cut it into 2-inch, and then cut it into very fine juliennes and put them in water overnight. They become nice and curly like this. So this is one way of serving. The second way, you could do individual. Now let's do the green ones with the, our green are also ready. So let me show you this. Let me take this. I'll take the green coriander relish for this. So this is the coriander relish going into individual plates. Just put one dim sum on it. Top it with some more and on this, if you have these red juliennes of red bell pepper, in the same way you can put them overnight. Just put them on this like this, and you have your individual servings also like this. You can also decorate with green coriander, put it dipped in water. So we have these juliennes of green onions or juliennes of red bell pepper, and you can serve these along if you like. So I've taught you quite a few ways of serving. So now we are done with the class.